Indian No More, Chapter 7. Meeting the Neighbors. Even though that tiny stucco house wasn't anything like our res home, it did have one feature I loved. From the living room I could race through our bedroom into the bathroom, over to Mama's and Daddy's bedroom, then through the kitchen and back out into the living room. One giant circle. Trust me, I couldn't do that in the old farmhouse. Pee-wee and I kept chasing each other around and around until Chich stretched her arm out. "You two sound like a pair of wild raccoons," she said, propping the broom against her bedroom wall. "Go play outside. It's beautiful this morning." She grabbed 2 cattail dolls she had made before leaving Grand Ronde and held them out to us. Pee-wee and I took the dolls and ran into the front yard. Then we scavenged for sticks and leaves to make tiny lean-tos, the summer homes some Indians make when they're away from home, fishing, hunting, and gathering. Back on the res, Daddy taught us to make them one Saturday afternoon, while Mama waited tables at the diner and Chich visited Aunt Rosie. As we constructed our lean-tos, the sun blazed above. The traffic noise from Western Avenue rumbled over to our street. I glanced up, checking out the neighborhood. That's when I noticed a boy on the sidewalk staring at Pee-wee and me. His white shirt and tan shorts accented his skinny black frame. He said nothing, just stared. Standing next to him was his younger sister, I assumed, with 4 ponytail braids, all held closed at the ends with different colorful barrettes. I was startled at first, wondering why they hadn't said hello or something to let us know they were there. As soon as I dusted the dry grass from my knees, the girl blurted out, "Are you Indians?" Our parents said, "Indians are moving in." "Yeah," I said slowly as I studied these new kids. They didn't look like any of the kids back in Grand Ronde. I'd never seen anyone so dark. "We're Umpqua. What are you?" The boy looked at me as if I had sprouted antlers. "We're colored," the boy answered. "Okay, what tribe is that?" The boy's mouth dropped open, and he burst out laughing like I had asked a dumb question. The girl giggled so hard she snorted. "We're not from an Indian tribe. Don't think there are any tribes in Arkansas, where we moved from, just white folks that don't want us around," the boy finally said. "Haven't you ever met colored folks before?" "No," I huffed. "Nope, you're the first ones ever," Pee-wee chimed in with a smile, holding out both our dolls. "Want to play?" That Pee-wee, she made friends everywhere. "Is this a real Indian doll?" the girl asked, checking out Pee-wee's cattail doll. "Our Chich made it, so I guess it is," Pee-wee grinned. "Chich?" asked the boy. "That's how we say grandmother," I said. The girl studied the doll. Then she squatted down to check out our lean-tos. She looked puzzled by the mass of tiny leaves, flowers, and twigs. "Is this how you live back where you came from?" "No," Pee-wee replied. "We had a house back home. This is a lean-to." I whispered to the boy, "Does she always ask so many questions?" "Yep, Nosy is what we call her at home." The girl jumped up from the grass and bolted up the porch steps. "My name's Addie Bates, and he's Keith," she declared. "Can we see your house?" Pee-wee and I gave each other a sidelong glance. "Sure," Pee-wee said. "I'm Teresa, but everyone calls me Pee-wee, and she's Regina." "Where are your Indian blankets?" Addie asked as Keith and I entered the house behind them. "And how come your couch has stains?" I cringed. I hadn't thought about how bad the couch looked. "Chich crochets all our blankets," Pee-wee said, "and the government gave us this couch." "The government gave you a couch?" Addie asked. "Yeah," I said. "They gave us all this furniture. Well, except for Chich's sewing machine. We brought that from the res." "The res?" "Our Indian reservation," I replied. "What's that?" "It's land where Indians live, work, and go to school. Ours is in Oregon," I said, wondering if I was lying because it didn't exist anymore after being terminated. "And you guys know how to sew?" Addie continued. "Addie," Keith said, pulling on the back of his sister's blouse. "Shut up." Addie scrunched up her face. "Ooh, you told me to shut up. I'm going to tell Mama." We continued to tour and entered the kitchen. Mama was scrubbing out the refrigerator, stopping only long enough to take a drag from her cigarette. She acknowledged us with a nod. The scent of vinegar filled the air. From the kitchen we headed out back. Chich was there, supervising Daddy putting up the clothesline. He stretched the rope from the back porch into the small garage as tight as he could. "Chich, this is Keith and Addie," I said. Chich smiled at them, and Daddy walked over to us. His large frame towered over our new friends. They stepped back to give him room. "Does this work for you, Ma?" Daddy asked Chich, pointing to the clothesline. "It'll do," she said, nodding. She turned to us. "How about I make some sandwiches for you all?" Without waiting for an answer, she headed inside. Daddy surveyed Keith and Addie and smiled. "You live close by?" "Yes, sir," Keith said. "We live across the street and 2 houses down from you." Nice to meet you. Why don't you kids head back in for those sandwiches? Daddy started putting his tools away. We raced back inside. While we nibbled on peanut butter sandwiches at the kitchen table, Mama went to arrange stuff in the bathroom. Addie told us all kinds of stories about the neighborhood and the kids on the street, kids we had yet to meet. Hanging out with Keith and Addie felt kind of like spending time with my cousins back home, so that's why I couldn't have guessed what was coming next.